Good morning, everyone. This is Chary, Faculty of Commerce, working as DL in Commerce at TTWRD Cement, Karimnagar. Okay. So, first of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks, gratitude to the Gurukulam for providing such a program that is best online lecture and best online student teacher for the faculties as well as students to bring the talent, the skills, abilities in the students as well as teachers. So, in this pandemic, it is very essential to enhance our skills, our knowledge, our abilities to improve our systems to our education. So, once again, I'm thanking to the Gurukulam. Okay, so let us start. So, myself, Ch.Shankara, as I told, so I wanted to take the subject business organization and management. In this subject, I would like to explain the topic that is the sole proprietorship business form. Okay. So generally you might have an awareness about the business. Okay. We will see what is business. So, okay. So here I am providing you the definition of business. So that is business refers to activities concerned with the production and exchange of goods and services with the aim of earning profits. So this is what very important in a business activity, that is earning profits. So simply what is he saying? So business refers to the activities, okay, and the exchange of goods and services with the aim of earning profits. So without having sufficient profits, no business can survive. So that it is essential to have a profit in the business, but it should be justifiable. Okay, the profit should be justifiable. For example, if you take production of goods and transporting, warehousing, banking, so communication, and etc., or retailing, wholesaling. Okay, all these things can be termed as the part of business. Okay, so now we can see the forms of business organization. Okay, various forms of business organization. So in this competitive world, in this business world, we have different forms of business organization which have been running in this uh, today's business world. Okay, we can see the sole proprietorship form of business and the partnership forms of business and joint Hindu family business, joint stock companies, and cooperative societies also. Okay, simply I'll explain one by one briefly. The first thing is sole proprietorship business. So the sole proprietorship business is nothing but it is a form of business which is carried out by one person, and the capital will be invested by one person, and the profits losses will be shared by that person only. Okay, and next, partnership firm. So the partnership firm is a type of business which requires at least two members to start a partnership firm. The capital which required to start the business will be invested by the both parties, and the activities will be done by the both parties, and the profits or losses will be shared among the all the partners. Minimum number of members required to start a business is 2%. And next, joint Hindu family business. This is also one of the oldest form of business, and this is carried out by the joint Hindu family members, and the profits, all the things will be shared by the family members, and the business things will be managed and controlled by the elder person in the family. He is called as karta or manager. Okay, he is called as karta or manager. And the next thing is joint stock companies. So joint stock companies is also one of the major contributor in the production sector. This is a large scale production companies, production business units, so which is a voluntary association of the people who agreed to carry out business, and the profits will be shared by all the members. Okay. And the next one is cooperative societies. So cooperative societies is also like joint stock companies, but in these things, in this type of form of business organization, the economic interests of the people will shared. Okay, the capital will be contributed by each member, but generally this type of cooperative societies will have lesser capital compared to joint stock companies. Okay, now our topic is to discuss about deeply regarding the sole proprietorship business. So the major session will goes on uh, sole proprietorship form of business organization. So let us see the characteristics and advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorship form of business organization. Yeah, here it is, the sole proprietorship form business. So we can see some of the introduction part of the sole proprietorship business as just I said, but once again we will go through this. A sole proprietorship is the oldest form of business organization. Okay, it is the oldest form of business organization, and one person starts. Okay, how many members are required to start the business means here only one person is required to start the business with his own capital. This is what very important. The business will be started by own capital and resources and manages it himself. Okay, sometimes the sole proprietor can arrange money, funds, capital from his friends and his family, but and the business will be managed by himself only. Okay, the business is generally on a small scale. So this is also a very important point, because generally the resources are limited to the sole proprietor, so that the scale of production or the scale of activities are small due to limited financial and managerial resources. So as just I said, there is only one person, so that he cannot gather all the amount and huge amount and very heavy resources, so that it is generally in small scale. Okay, and the liability of sole proprietor is unlimited. Okay, the word liability refers to the obligations of business. Okay, so if the sole proprietor is suffering with losses, then the sole proprietor has to sell his private property also. This is what called as unlimited liability. Okay, and next we will see the features of sole proprietorship form of business organization. Okay, here are the some of the features of sole proprietorship form of business organization, that is individual initiative. Okay, next unlimited liability, next management and control, next motivation, next secrecy, next unlimited, sorry, limited area of operations. Okay, so these are the features or characteristics of sole proprietorship business. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. So let us see the individual initiatives. Okay, so here we can see the individual initiative. Okay, this is one of the feature of sole proprietorship form of business organization, where the initiation will be taken by only one person, individual. Okay, so the business is started by the initiation of a single person. Okay, the business will be started by a single person, that is he is called as sole trader. So he prepares the blueprint of the venture and arranges various factors of production. So arranges various factors of production means here that may be physical resources, that may be monetary resources, means financial resources, and that may be capital, that may be whatever it is. So machineries, men, material. So all these things will be gathered by himself only. Okay, all profits and losses are taken by the individual himself. Means by carrying such activities, business activities, any profit or any loss, if the business is getting any profit or losses, then all the things will be bared by himself only. Okay, so he is the sole whole and sole responsibility of the business. And unlimited liability, I just now said that unlimited liability. So the proprietor is responsible for all the losses arising from the business, as the profits are shared by himself only. So all the losses also has to be borne by him only. Okay, so the liability is not limited, it is unlimited. Okay, only to his investment, it is not limited to his investment only. So in the business, but his private property is also liable for business obligations. So what is saying here, his private assets, his private property is also liable to meet the obligations of business. Okay, next, management and control. So the proprietor manages the whole business himself. He prepares various plans and executes them under his supervision. Here, the business will be managed by the sole trader himself. He prepares some plans. Okay, he prepares some plans and executes them under his supervision. Means there is no other persons involving in this business. He has to himself, he has to supervise himself in his business, and he has to plan some uh, plans, and he has to execute that plan. He has some strategies, he has to take decisions for his business. So no one will should involve, so that there may be some persons to help him. Okay, but actually the ultimate decision will be taken by himself only. Okay, and next we have some other features like motivation. See here, motivation. There is a direct relationship between efforts and reward. If he works more, he will earn more. He motivated to expand his business activities. See, generally, if you take a partnership firm, then the partners, all the partners may involve or may not involve in the business, but the profits will be distributed among all the partners equally. But in case of sole proprietorship, all the things, all the profits and losses will be borne by himself only. So whatever is the result of the business, that belongs to himself only. No one is eligible to take part of his profits, so that he will be self motivated, that as much as he can work effort for his business, he can earn more profits. So like that, in this way he will work hard, he put his efforts. Okay, so there is a direct relationship between efforts and reward. Okay, so if he works more, he will earn more. So he motivated to expand his business activities. So that is what I said. And the secrecy, the next feature is secrecy. So all important decisions are taken by owner himself. So generally, in sole proprietorship form of business, only one member will be existed, and he keeps business secrets only to himself. Means he may not need to take consent of others, he may not need to disclose these business secrets with any other one. So by retaining the business secrets, he avoids competitors entering the same business. Means, so he will retain his business secrets with him only. He will not share to any other person, so that the secrets of his business will not go to any other competitors in the same business. Okay. And the next feature is limited area of operations. So a sole trade business has generally limited area of operations, and the reason being the limited financial resources and managerial abilities of the sole trader. So because of there is only one person in the sole trade proprietorship, so he may not be expert in all the things, right? So he may not be expert in all the things, and he may not take care of all the things which is going on in his business. He may not supervise all the, he may not carry out all the functions regarding his business, so that the managerial capabilities or the managerial abilities are compared very less compared to any other forms of business organization. And limited area of operations means there is less scope for expanding his business due to financial resources. He cannot carry a large scale activities, okay, due to this limited financial resources and managerial resources. So we can have next the advantages of sole proprietorship form of business organization. Okay. So we will see what are the advantages of sole proprietorship business. So in the general life of human, we are going through so many of sole proprietorship business. Example, a cloth shop. Example, a shoe center. Example, an internet business. Example, a vegetable seller. So there are so many sole proprietorship businesses in our regular life we will observe. So we will have a lot of advantages with this type of business. So we will see one by one. Easy formation. Okay. So easy in formation. Next, better control. Next, retention of business secrets. Next, direct motivation. Next, quick decision making. Next, direct accessibility of consumers. Next, inexpensive management. Okay. Next, no legal restrictions. And next, self employment. Okay. So we will discuss one by one. Okay. Here, first one is easy in formation. Means the formation of the sole proprietorship business is very easy compared to any other forms of business organizations. Okay. So we will see in deep. This business is absolutely free from legal formalities. Okay. So to start a partnership, to start a joint stock company, to start a cooperative society form of business organization, there is some procedure. There are some legal formalities. So it takes lots of time to fulfill all the requirements. But in case of a sole proprietorship form of business organization, as the sole trader has a thought of starting a business, he can start as much as early. The thing is, just he has to decide himself what business is to be started. Okay. And he has to procure some resources, that's it. So there should not any legal formalities to be followed. Okay. So this business is absolutely free from legal formalities. Anybody wishing to start, okay, if anybody is wishing to start a sole trade concern, can do so without loss of time. Means without delay he can start his business and he can carry his activities. Next, better control. So in this form of business organization, one man is responsible for all types of activities. The authority and responsibility lie with the one person. Okay, so in this form of business organization there is only one person, as we have discussed, so that the authority as well as responsibility will be held with him only. So he is the responsible for all the activities which are going in his business. So the business is controlled in an effective way. So no other person will involve in his activities, so that he can manage his business, he can effectively run his business, he can control, he can have a command on his business activities. Okay, next, retention of business secrets. So this is one of the feature and the advantage of sole proprietorship form of business organization. As being the sole trade or sole proprietor, he is not expected to share his trade secrets with anyone else. Okay, so generally there is no legal formalities to publish his accounts, no. So if you take the case of joint stock companies, it is compulsory, it is statutory obligation of the company to publish its annual reports. Okay, but in case of sole proprietorship there is no such formality, means there is no need of publishing his accounts. So there is no need of publishing his financial information to the public, so that his business secrets will be kept secretly. Okay, next, direct motivation. So this is also we have discussed already in the characteristics of sole proprietorship form of business organization. So this is what, there is direct relationship in efforts and reward. Means if he work hard he will get more, if he work hard he will get less amount of profits, or he may go into the situation of losses. Okay, so the proprietor takes, so the proprietor takes keen interest. Okay, he will take care of his business in the working of the business. He tries to put his efforts to earn as much as profits he can. So he put all his efforts to earn maximum profits. Okay, as much as he can, so that he puts more interest in his business activities. And next we have quick decision making. So all important decisions are taken by one person. Okay, so here the person is only one individual, so all the decisions are taken by himself only. So see here, it is a general point of taking decision. So decision making is an important aspect in any form of business organization. So right decision at right time can take away a business to the peaks into the more profitable situation. But a wrong decision can lead to the collapse of the business, isn't it? So that a decision should be taken promptly at the right time. Okay, so in the sole proprietorship form of business organization, all important decisions are taken by one person. He may not need to take anyone's consent. Okay, while taking the decision he may not need to consult any other person. He can take decision as his will. Okay, so there would not be any delay in decision taking process. So why there is no delay means he should not consult, I mean he is not required to consult anyone. Okay, he can take as per his wish, so that there will be chance of quick decision making. And next we have direct accessibility to consumers. So here, suppose if you take a joint stock company, the owners will be elsewhere, the customers will be elsewhere, and the board of directors will be some other places. So there is no direct relationship, direct contact between the board of directors and the owners and the public. So here in this case of a sole proprietorship form, it is the form of business, the scale of operations in small. Okay, the scale of operations is small. The owner can have direct contact with the customers and employees, means there is less amount of transactions, means it is a small scale, and the owner can consult, can contact the customers directly. So it helps, okay, it helps the sole trader to know the tastes and preferences of the customers, and to get in touch with the customers, he can improve his sales. Okay, he can improve his sales by contacting, by knowing the tastes and preferences of the customers regularly. Okay, a company board of director cannot meet the customers directly, but a sole proprietor can have a good relationships with the customers as well as the employees working in his business, so that he can maintain a good healthy working environment with the employees and good customer relationship with the consumers. Okay, and the next advantage is inexpensive management. Okay, so the sole trader is the owner, manager and controller of the business. So he does not appoint specialists for various functions. He personally supervises the various activities and can avoid wastage in the business. So in this way, managerial costs, okay, managerial costs are saved to a large extent. Once again, I'm repeating. So the sole trader is the owner and manager and controller of the business. So he does not appoint any specialists for various functions. Means due to financial burden, he can manage his business, he will manages, he will controls, he will uh, he is the owner of his business, so that all the things will be taken by himself only. So he personally supervises various activities. Okay, he personally supervises various activities and can avoid wastages, okay, in the business. So by having a command control over his business, in this way, the managerial cost, means the employing costs of experts, are saved to a great extent, a large extent. Okay, and next we have, yes, no legal restrictions. Okay, we have next, no legal restrictions. This is also one of the major advantage for the sole proprietorship form of business organization. So there are no legal requirements for starting this form of business. The proprietor is not required to submit the results of the business to any authority. Okay, so generally to start a business, there is so much of procedure in cooperative societies, partnership, and joint stock companies. But in case of only sole proprietorship, there is no legal formalities. Okay, so he is not required, he is not supposed to submit any results of his business activities, any documents to any authorities. Okay, so this is helps the sole proprietor, the sole trader, to start his business uh, without any legal procedures, without any legal formalities, without any time delay. Okay, and next one, self employment. So this is also very important advantage for the people who are interested to work on their hands and their legs. Okay, so generally some people will interested in entrepreneurship. Okay, instead of working in any other organizations or any under other authorities. So they think to work at their stands. Okay, so self employment, by having this sole proprietorship form of business organization, they can get their self employment to get their livelihood survive. So they will start a business, means the sole proprietorship, so proprietors will think of starting a business and entrepreneurship, so that they can get their employment. Okay, instead of working anywhere somewhere else, they will work under their supervision, they will work under their jurisdiction. So they will work as per their willingness. Okay, this is what very important. They will be the boss of their business. Okay, so that it helps in the getting self employment, as well as it helps in reducing unemployment also. Okay, so these are the some of the advantages of sole proprietorship form of business organization. And next we will see the disadvantages too. Okay, so as well as we have advantages, we have also some of the disadvantages of sole proprietorship form of business organization. Right, here are the some of the list of disadvantages of sole proprietorship. So we see one by one. So limited resources, means in the sole proprietorship form of business organization, the resources are very limited. And limited managerial ability and unlimited liability. This is what very disadvantage. Uncertain continuity, means there is no certainty of continuing the business in future. And no large scale economies, obviously there is no large scale economies. And possibility of wrong decisions, yes of course, sometimes the sole proprietor can take the wrong decisions. And weak bargaining position, exactly. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. The first one is limited resources. Okay, so here, limited resources. The resources of a sole proprietor is limited. Means being a sole proprietor, he can provide capital himself only, or else he can get money from his family members and friends. So he makes investments from his own and family sources only. Means he can invest his own money, and sometimes he can borrow from his family members, relatives and friends. But he is not capable of investing a huge amount, a huge capital. So larger financial resources are not available for this type of business. Okay, he has to give some security if he wants to take loans. But the institutions will not give loans based upon his personal security. So the greater amount will not be provided by the institutions. Anyhow, he has to gather from his friends, relatives and his own property. Okay, so this is what confines his business to limited. Okay, there is no scope for expansion of his business due to financial resources are limited. Okay, and next, limited managerial ability. So one person may not be expert in each and every function of business. Yes, of course, the business involves lots of functions like planning, organizing, directing, motivating, controlling, coordinating. So all the functions may not be carried out by one person. So in the competitive world, complexities of managerial job increasing every day. Okay, so in this competitive world, the managerial complexities are increasing. So everyone in the corporate field are hiring experts in the managerial functions. Okay, But due to lack of financial resources, due to financial burden, the sole proprietor's firm, the sole proprietor, the sole trader may not employ experts for his business. So here the managerial abilities are very less compared to any other forms of business organization. If you take a partnership firm, two or more persons will be existed in this type of business. So the people will share the work, divide the work, but here all the things has to born by himself only. Okay, so one person may not be expert in each and every function of business, so the managerial abilities are less. Next, unlimited liability. So the liability of a sole trader is unlimited. His private property can also be assigned for meeting business losses. See, if any business, suppose you take partnership, if the partnership business is suffering from losses, then the partners will distribute the losses equally. Okay, means the burden will not be imposed on any one member, it will be distributed, the risk will be shared by the partners. If it is a joint stock company, the liability of a member is limited up to his unpaid share value. But in case of a sole proprietorship, all the losses will be bared by himself only. Okay, so there is a high amount of risk of getting losses. So his private property, his private assets are also uh, used for meeting the business losses. Okay, he has to sell his personal assets also to pay the business debts. This is what unlimited liability. This is also a very disadvantage of sole proprietorship business. And uncertain continuity means there is no certainty of continuing such type of business in future. Okay, so the business continues as far as sole proprietor is there. So, if in case of his death or physically incapable, the business is discontinued. Okay, if the sole proprietor is not able, physically not capable of doing the business activities after some period, then it will be discontinued. Or else, if the proprietor has died, then there is no certainty of continuing this business. So this is what uncertain continuity. If you take a joint stock company, if any one of the member has died, then the remaining people will continue the business. It has a perpetual continuation in the joint stock company and cooperative societies. If the partnership, if you take, if any partner has died, then the agreement will be rewrite and the partners, remaining partners, will continue the business. But here in case it is not like that. If the sole proprietor has died, then the business will be discontinued. Okay, and next we have some other drawbacks or disadvantages. So no large scale economies. Okay, so in this type of business, no large scale economies, because a small scale concern cannot economize in purchases, production, and marketing. So while purchasing the material or the goods, the sole proprietor will purchase in little quantities, okay, small quantities, so that his purchasing power is less, so he cannot get any benefits of large scale. So while in case of production also and marketing also, he cannot get benefited of large scale production and large scale marketing. So here the sole proprietor is not getting a large scale economies. There is no chance, there is no probability of getting large scale economies. Okay, and possibility of wrong decisions. A sole proprietor has to take all the decisions himself. There is a possibility that some decisions may be wrong. Yes, of course, after discussion with some other members, a good decision may come from all the points of all the members. But the sole proprietorship being an individual single person, he may take a good decision or he may not take a good decision. If he take the good decision, that will be better. But if in case if he takes the decision on stress, means he will thought that if I miss the opportunity of taking this quickly, then then he may lose something. Okay, he may be in that psychology that if I lose this chance, if I can't take the decision at correct time, then I may lose a chance of getting things. So in that psychological situation, he may take a wrong decision. Okay, so that leads to the losses of the business. Okay, there will be a possibility of taking a wrong decision. Okay, the next disadvantage is weak bargaining position. So a sole proprietor has a weak bargaining position. He purchases and sells the goods in small quantities so that he cannot get advantages of bargaining. So as I said just now, so his purchases are little in quantity, small in quantities. His sales are also little in quantity, so that he may not get the advantages of selling large scale and the advantages of purchasing sometimes he may not get the discounts, subsidies. Okay, so his bargaining power, his purchasing power is less, so that he cannot get any discounts, any subsidies, any large scale benefits. He will not able to get any such type of benefits. So these are the disadvantages of a sole proprietorship form of business organization. Okay, thank you once again. I will share the screen. I will show the slides. You can go through this and you can have the access of this PPT. Okay, so here it is, the business and its definition. And next slide is forms of business organizations, that is sole proprietorship form and partnership, joint Hindu family business, joint stock companies, cooperative societies. And the next, sole proprietorship business. So a small introduction about this. And this is features of sole proprietorship as individual initiative, unlimited liability, management and control, motivation, secrecy, limited area of operations. And next, the explanation for these features or characteristics. And next, we have advantages of sole proprietorship: easy information, better control, retention of business secrets, direct motivation, quick decision making, direct accessibility of consumers, inexpensive management, no legal restrictions, and self employment. Next, we have disadvantages of sole proprietorship, like limited resources, limited managerial ability, unlimited liability, uncertain continuity, no large scale economies, and possibility of wrong decisions and weak bargaining positions. So this is the PPT. And once again, I wish to thank everyone who is watching my video. And once again, I wish to thank to the Gurukulam for providing me such an opportunity to have this online class to present my online video lecture on the topic sole proprietorship business. Thank you one and everyone. Okay, yes.